I'm feeling grappled.
There we go. I got you ungrappled.
Hey. Free.
Don't let go, Jack.
Free and pantless. I mean, whoops.
Uh-oh. That's what I thought I felt something.
I approve.
How long have you been shaving your legs? It was lovely.
Don't you wish I would? Get it where you can, honey.
Over that idea.
It was so smooth. So silky smooth. Alright, so where were we?
Yeah, for like 5 minutes before the...
We had just cleared the bottom of the tower of any bad guys. We still had the panther, I believe.
Yep.
And we were about ready to either... I was thinking either loot the downstairs or find a way upstairs to stop this stupid beam.
Or little of column A, little of column B.
I was going to say, I thought we were going to do both. I think I had asked about investigating around to see if there was anything stealable.
Loot-worthy? Yeah.
Loot-worthy, when Alex said, I guess we'll have to find out next time.
Yeah. I'm about ready to start taking my hammer to these walls and crumple this tower.
That would be amusing.
What, is there anything in that crate, or is it just there as a marker?
Well, so let's reset the scene. You're in a 45 by 45 foot tower, which is one of the last remaining structures in a set of ruins on a peninsula that sticks out into the Wyrmsheart, known as the Pitchfork. And ship stuck, beam of energy going from the rear of the ship all the way up to the top floor of this particular tower that you find yourself on the ground floor of. You just finished having a discussion with two types of people that you were talking to. One set were pretty nondescript. They look like people that were used to spending a lot of time sort of not being clean.
Jezebel, fuck off! Is my mic still attached? Sorry.
Yes, it is.
Yes.
Corgi tried to climb into my lap and got tangled in the cord and nearly pulled the computer down.
Aww.
She doesn't want me. She wants the hopes that there's salmon belt on my lap. I'm sorry, Alex. Please continue.
That's all right. And the other type of person was one that was dressed similarly to two of the gang members that were involved at the Point House warehouse skirmish that you enjoyed back in Whitecap. And suffice to say, all of these people now lay dead at your feet.
Tried to talk to one.
There was a spellcaster among the group, one who is dressed similarly to the ones with the red tinted leathers and the white arm wraps, but this individual's head was shaved bald, and his hands starting at the fingertips. Sorry, her hands starting at the was it her? I don't remember.
Yeah.
Her hands starting at the fingertips and going all the way to a couple of inches below the elbow. It is stained red, like almost dyed, like her skin was dyed. And then the white wraps on top of that. The area is set up for... I thought there were like bedrolls and stuff. Where did they go?
Yeah, there's bedrolls and stuff piled around.
Oh my God, Bucky. He is being murdered in here, honey.
I am aware. He's been that in here too.
Can you guys hear that howling?
Feel free to yell at him. No. He doesn't need to do this.
It's more like a moan
Is he
than
mad
a howl.
he's not getting attention?
No,
he ate some salad, so he's gonna. He feels guilty, and he's trying to tell everybody how guilty he is.
Really?
Yes. Like he's carrying him around his favorite toy as penance and like whining.
The weight
So
of the
he
world.
stole food.
Yeah,
And is
and he
crying
feels-
about the fact he stole food.
Yeah, he feels awful.
Let me tell you
He's
what
trying
dog
to-
does not feel guilty when she steals food. So yeah, bedrolls in a fire. That looks about right, Alex.
You wanna
Yep.
you wanna moan for the group? You wanna moan for the group, huh?
He's not gonna moan.
I thought you were talking to Heidi.
You gonna moan for the group?
A different
So-
kind of show.
Could I do
Whoa.
some sort of history or arcana check to see if I know anything about this red-handed?
You can do
Heidi.
Heidi. Let's see what kind of check would be appropriate. Something intelligence-based. Also, I don't know if you noticed,
Why
but
do I have disadvantage all of a sudden on my dex and my strength checks?
where do you see that?
It's shown up. It wasn't there last week, and it's there now.
Well, what I was about to say, I don't know if this is what you're talking about, but D&D Beyond now has... Sorry, that was a long and I wish you guys could hear him.
Was that him?
Yeah, it was.
Little baby wolf howl.
It was.
Do we need to throw him outside for a minute?
We could probably just let him walk out. I don't think we need to throw him.
Oh, good lord.
Anyway, D&D Beyond now has an integrated dice roller. So all this stuff on your character sheet that's in blue, if you click on it, it won't send a roll 20. So this really isn't something that we'll be using for this particular game. But if you click on the blue, you'll get dice actually appearing on your screen, much like in Roll20, except these dice look much nicer. They're like shaded and they're lovely. And Heidi is up for a second. She's letting our mournful hellhound outside. Make a religion check for me. All right, we're back.
Yay.
Yeah, internet's been goofy all day, so I just restarted everything.
The
Am I
entire
here?
internet you restarted.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I did.
All of the tubes.
All right. So last thing I asked before we got disconnected was for a religion check
Whoa.
from Lux.
You would pick that one.
Not bad. You have heard about this new group of individuals in Whitecap, and you've seen them from place to place sort of increasingly over the last couple of weeks. These guys work a lot of street corners, talking about... but not in that fashion. They work the streets, drawing crowds, talking about improving oneself's lot in life, becoming wealthy. It's very MLM type stuff.
Sounds
Very,
like the Tony Robbins bullshit.
yeah.
God.
And you've noticed them more and more over the last couple of weeks. Never quite encountered them quite in this fashion, but that look of the red tinted leather and the white wraps, there's some sort of new cult that's in the area, but you don't know what they're called or who they follow. You never really paid much attention to them.
Yeah. Okay. Can we look around to see if there's anything worth looting off the bodies? starting with the...
There are some meager possessions amongst them between the group, there are 9 of them total. You find 17 gold pieces.
I'll write it down for now.
Thank you.
Okay. But nothing on the fanatic either? Sorry.
The 17 gold was sort of what you found on all of them, all added together. 6 casks of untapped ale, which is nice.
That'll be for later.
Assorted personal effects on each one, things that are of no value.
Like pictures of their family and stuff like that.
Exactly, like a baby boot.
Okay. Okay, so literally no value.
And
I mean, they might burn.
you do notice in one portion of the tower, someone had set up a shrine of some kind. With there's a boar skull and some cutting tools, and then this wood altar with what look like channels for blood flow flowing down from a sacrifice area for small animals like squirrels, rabbits, that sort of thing. And then there are these, and then carved into the wood are these claw type marks, type shapes, like a curved sort of talon or claw.
Okay.
How?
I have...
So there were some ropes hanging down too. How
There
high
were.
does it look? You would have to. Do they look like are they attached to like a bell or to ring, or is it something to climb up? And if so, how high was it?
The ropes go all the way up to the 4th story, and the whole like 2nd and 3rd floor, the floors on the 2nd and 3rd levels are all collapsed, so it's all open in the center of the tower until you get to the 4th floor. Pretty much, there's like remnants of flooring along the outer walls, but all of the center has all collapsed in long ago. However, the 4th floor still seems like it still has its floor, and the ropes are coming out of holes in this portion of the tower. And the trap door on the other side is kind of a hastily built series of wood planks, just sort of quickly nailed together to cover up whatever's underneath.
Can we have crowbars, we could pry that open.
You don't even need crowbars. The whole thing lifts up quite easily, and there's a depression in the earth that goes down just a couple of feet, but then it looks like whatever was here has caved in at some point. So the drop down the tunnel is completely filled with rocks and dirt.
Can we tell, like, if there was a tunnel or anything, which way it would have been going, or is it just too caved in?
Thoradin might be able to tell that. If he can do he can do an investigation check.
No.
He's not even. He doesn't even see a hole there. He insists
What
that
are you
it's
guys talking about?
actually a rise that actually comes up. It's like a pitcher's mound to him. So. Yeah, no. If it does turn a direction at some point, it might just be too deep to leave any sort of surface indication.
Okay.
And our rope was our option up?
Yep.
I mean, I feel like we need to go up first, don't we?
Yeah,
I'm
should probably.
good for that too.
Yeah.
My, depending on what we use, my strength and dexterity are good as well.
Yeah, I mean,
I've got good strength. I've got a question for the DM. If I were to like remove my chainmail or anything like that, would that make my climbing easier? Since I would have less weight.
I don't think the weight of armor affects climbing in any way, unless you're over your max encumbrance, which I don't think you are.
I'm not. I mean, I was just. In real life, it makes sense that if I take off something that weighs a lot of pounds, it's easier for me to climb. But if we're not worried about that, then I'm not gonna do that.
Yeah, I would only worry about it if you were over your limit.
Okay. Then I go put some rocks in my pocket.
I hoist the gnome onto my shoulders.
So who do we want to climb up there?
What do we think of Vinny's idea of transformation first to check out what's going on up there?
Up there.
If there's
I
anything
think that's a good idea.
Okay.
I think I would be our next choice for trap recognition.
As Finny prepares to wild shape into some crazy new form. Wait, you can't wild shape into anything flying, though.
No, I was just going to be a mouse and go right up the rope.
Oh. Do mice have a swimming speed?
No.
She's become a mouse before.
I was a rat earlier.
You were a rat before.
Alright.
I could be a rat.
As you prepare to transform, suddenly this portion of the fourth floor that covers this portion of the tower begins to lower. There's like a 15 by 15 foot section of it that's a platform suspended from the ropes, and it starts slowly lowering.
I look around. Did somebody step on a switch?
Yeah.
There's an elevator call button right there on the wall. Someone hit.
Real Legend of Zelda going on here.
Yeah.
Okay, I move a little closer to that area.
Probably was
over here.
Yes, although I probably shouldn't have put a campfire there.
I was going to ask to strike them into the fire. I'm like, holy crap, moving fire.
Campfire, yeah.
We'll say the campfire's over there.
It's lowering here?
It's lowering right here.
Hold on. Right, I do it again. My screen glitched out. Okay.
I ready my weapons.
Yeah.
Magnus, no, I don't want to play with you.
As it gets lower, you can see the top of the platform, and you can see that there's no one on it.
Probably good.
And it lowers and finally settles to the ground with a thud.
I go stand on it. I apparently said to throw it in. And you look, sorry. What were you going to say?
I spin around. Ooh-wee.
Oh no, I was letting you guys move on to the platform.
Okay.
I want to go on the platform.
Can we all go on?
I can't get my panther to move again. There we go.
No guts, no glory.
We're all going up.
Wait.
This seems somewhat foolish, but we shall do it.
Moving on up.
Moving on up. Oh wait, this should fix it. Let's try this. Alright, try to move the panther again.
Now I have panther control.
I love that. My favorite Prince song, I was about to say.
Aha, I win.
Panther control.
Panther.
And as the last of you step onto the platform, it sort of shudders as the ropes grow tight, and the whole thing begins hoisting up. And
How
you
smooth
can
is the ride?
It's a little jostly. This isn't like extreme levels of craftsmanship with this thing. It's basically just enough for it to work.
Jenny starts thinking in her head that they just really need to apply some beeswax to the inside of the pulley system. Things would run a lot smoother. She knows all about blocks from being on the
Can
ship.
we get any feel
You're
for
hired.
if we think it can hold all of us at the same time? Like
It's holding you.
weight-wise?
It's already a couple
Okay.
of feet off the ground.
We know
Too
we're good
late
on that.
now.
And you can see up above, up on the 4th floor, you can see the silhouettes of several figures standing around the hole, and 2 of them hoisting sort of the main rope, bringing the platform up.
All right, that's nerve-wracking. That's a little nerve-wracking, but
You
Wait,
see one of the silhouettes waves down to you.
So there's a person there.
Several people.
yeah, there's somebody up there, and they're the ones bringing us up, which means they can also be the ones that let us fall.
I wave back.
He gives you the finger guns. Pew, pew, pew.
I am not happy about this.
Continues to rise. You guys riding it all the way up?
I mean, do we really have a choice?
Yeah, you could jump off.
I
Over
am.
to the top, baby.
Guess we're all in now.
Quick, cut the ropes. Ah.
And all of us have jarred legs.
My second favorite Alice in Chains album,
Guard legs.
Jar of Legs.
Large sigh.
Sigh.
Uh-oh, it went away.
Ooh.
Here we are. Okay. Uh-oh.
Okay.
And these guys are actually kind of scattered like this.
I feel trapped.
And I need to get a beverage refill. I'll be right back.
We have an Alex.
Yes.
Huzzah.
Yay. Is it battle time, Alex?
So, well, these guys
It might be
aren't
friend time.
looking currently threatening.
Okay.
And as the platform gets up to the top, they secure the rope with a thing, and then a couple of them step back to the back wall, the northern wall,
In a non-threatening fashion?
in a fairly non-threatening fashion. They're not taking their eyes off of you necessarily, but they're not like, they don't have weapons brandished, and they're not squaring up with you.
Promising.
I'd like
And
to do enough to just get barely
Hello.
off the platform.
And these guys are, again, red tinted leathers, white wraps. They don't have the red tinted skin, you note.
Not cool enough for that yet, huh?
Guess
Status.
not. They do have you can kind of see it through the white bandages. Looks like, I'd say 3 of the 4 of them look like they have fairly recent wounds of some kind that are sort of bleeding through the white fabric, like
That
cuts
sounds sad.
cuts on their skin, and the blood is just sort of soaking through. One of them, as you're stepping off the platform, one of the men looks over towards around the corner over here, and you see a figure step out.
I thought you were going to say figure skater.
You see a figure. You see Tanya Harding come out with a crowbar.
Yes.
We all are
It wasn't
upstairs,
Tanya
correct?
Harding, it was her husband. Get it right.
Nobody cares about him.
Jeff Galooly.
Jeff Galooly.
Yeah, Jeff Galooly.
Jeff.
See,
Jeff
I remember his
Galooly.
name. And that was some number of years ago.
It's like 25 years ago. Oh my god.
Wow. Oh, why
So
is he so big?
All right.
I made
He's a
the
giant.
I made the token large just so you could see it.
I like it.
Because I made it specifically for this character.
Love it.
Oh, it looks like
Real
you're
nice.
like an adult baby.
Aren't we all, Jack?
Standing
Aren't we
before
all?
you is an adult baby.
Giant adult.
That's
baby.
awesome.
So the woman who steps out is a very lean and muscular woman with a shaved head, and she's wearing an antlered headdress, which it's gray, and the tips of the antlers are kind of soot black, like ashy on the ends.
I don't see antlers.
I didn't add them. I forgot that I made the figure before I made the description. So
Okay. I'll allow it.
and she stands. She sort of moves out, kind of cat-like, very graceful, flowy sort of movements. And as you those of you moving, have you moved to where you feel comfortable for the moment?
As long as I'm
I'm not real comfortable with any of this right now.
No, yeah, I'm gonna move off of the thing and kind of.
Yeah, I'm not comfortable being on the platform.
Yeah, I kind of.
I'm off of the platform. You can't tell from my space.
The panther and I are a little backed off right now. Our backs to the wall, which is better than having things be able to sneak up behind us.
All right.
So, what do we want to say to him, and who needs to speak up?
I don't.
Allow me
Who
to
has the
speak
highest
first.
charisma? I think Gareth has the highest charisma.
Yes, he
Welcome
does.
to my
He's our
tower. I am Osan.
Bin Laden.
Osan, not Osama. You heard what I said, you silly girl. Osan, what is her last name? Jesus. Her last name is Jesus. Osan Jesus. Osan Casos?
Okay.
Do you need anything? Water? Are you wounded at all? I know you had a slight interaction with some of my people down on the ground.
Are we friends?
Are we the baddies? We are not anything yet, darling. I don't even know you. What are your names? As I said, I am Osan Casos, and I welcome you to my abode.
I'm Gareth Legant of Legant's Big Wood.
Do you have a trucker
That's
hat
my
on?
family business. Huh?
Are you wearing a trucker's hat at the moment? Just curious.
Dance Big Wood. Come on down.
We got your planks.
The finest wood in all the land.
Oh my gosh.
Gareth,
I'm Thorin of Glen Fireforge.
Gareth Thoradin, a pleasure to meet you.
I'm not really sure how I feel about all this.
Yeah, me neither.
Did you say that out loud,
Oh.
or was that?
No, that's kind of. We're not there yet.
Come on,
just
she's
kinda
not gonna steal
watching.
your identity.
Watching her and, trying to get a feel for what's going on here.
So no one else speaks up with names?
I kind of nod, but I don't
Named
really
the Bagua.
offer much.
What did you say, Heidi?
That I was strong fiend of the Bagua.
And I just introduced myself as Lee.
Bond. Lee Bond. She nods to each of you in turn. So you're...
You?
I am
Share
Osan
food?
Casos.
That's right. Sorry.
And you are probably wondering why I have stopped your ship.
Yes, why?
Crossed my mind.
That was a question of ours, yeah.
Well, let's just cut to the chase. The ship that you are sailing on is carrying what is known as a fragment. It's an object of power from beyond history. Fragments like that are used to imbue magic into what would otherwise be mundane objects. We have learned recently that Delephran intends on using this fragment to claim the Wyrmsheart for their own, followed by an assault on Terragir itself. This fragment must not be allowed to fall into Jerathor Del's hands.
Is that person that she mentioned someone we know?
So Jerathor Del is the king of Delephran.
Okay, so I guess, yeah.
And Terragir is, of course, the kingdom that you all hail from.
And that's kind of where we're headed right now, is delivering it to the person that she doesn't think wants to have it.
You're escorting it to Cyranor, which is the capital of Delephran, where it is supposed to be put up for auction.
Okay. So you're not really digging our mission, is kind of what I'm...
I do not blame you for being misinformed. But you must understand that war between these two nations would not be good for anyone.
So if you're interested in talking to us in a peaceful fashion, why did you attack us?
I could not be certain of your intent. I am merely trying to protect my own, as you also would.
Don't you think this conversation would have been more productive before we started fighting?
If you were simple sailors coming from the ship, then we would have just taken you prisoner, and that would have been the end of it.
What do you propose we do with the shard?
The shard must be... it's a fragment, not a shard.
Oh, I'm sorry. Fragment.
How dare you? How dare you, sir? I'm taking away an inspiration card. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, yes.
Oh, wow.
The fragment must be turned over so it can be destroyed and dealt with.
So is the fragment itself evil, or simply how someone uses it couldn't be used that way?
Fragments are merely tools. If any of you are carrying any sort of magical...
Fragments don't kill people, I kill people.
Exactly, exactly. I should get that on a t-shirt.
Yeah.
Split the profits with me 50-50 and we got a deal.
If you've ever consumed a magical potion of healing, for instance, this was created through the use of a fragment. All the greatest and most terrifying acts of magic in history have all been a result of the fragments.
So then why must it be destroyed instead of maybe cared for in a more appropriate and productive manner?
No offense, but men and their toys rarely make the right choices.
Snap.
No argument there.
I agreement.
High five the ladies.
Garrett just looks ashamed.
Yeah. Thank goodness I'm not a man, I'm a dwarf.
So how do we know that you actually want to do that and that you don't want it for nefarious purposes? And I like do the eyebrow raise at her.
Yeah,
Do I-
considering, you know,
do-
we're off to a real good start here.
Do I look like a male to you?
Bitches be crazy too.
Not
Garrett
all
says
men.
Garrett says that you can't, determine someone's gender just by looking at them.
Oh, nice inspiration
Oh.
card for that.
I identify as female.
Okay. And I believe that females are able to do just as much as males, which could include enslaving an entire population using a magical fragment.
Name a single war that was started by a woman.
The War of Troy. I roll a history check to see if I can think of a war that has done.
Go for it.
All right, you're calling my bluff. I like it.
No, you can't think of one.
I say, well, I suspect you would be the first.
So basically, you'll release the ship once you get this fragment.
I will.
What happens if we say no?
The fragment must not reach Cyranor.
That's not real helpful.
Why don't you just go to Cyranor and you said it's going to auction, just bid for it and then it's yours.
The amount of money that we're talking about for this fragment is beyond what any reasonable person could ever afford.
Are you just claiming that because you only make 75 cents to every 75% of a gold piece, every gold piece that a man makes?
You and I, we agree. You should be handing me the fragment right now.
What if we were to take the fragment to an upstanding person of magic?
How do you know a woman won't get it?
Men, even if a woman purchases it, do you really believe that a man isn't eventually going to be involved with its use?
Man, you really got burned.
I want to roll some kind of check to see if I trust that she actually wants to destroy it or if she wants to use it for her own nefarious purposes.
Okay, insight check.
There's a whole lot of nefariousness feeling going on here.
$15.
You get a sense of partial truth from her. Some of what she's saying is true, but not all of it.
Okay.
She's very good at this, so you can't tell exactly what part she is lying about, but there's something there that she's holding back.
You're not being entirely honest with us.
You didn't get any feeling. Yeah, Gareth got the feeling.
No one else wrote an insight check. Hint, hint. But yeah, tell her, it's like, I get the feeling you're not being entirely honest, and I kind of look at the rest of the party like...
All right, I concentrate, and
Lee,
I roll an insight check.
Lee
Hell
agrees.
yeah.
Lee agrees with Gareth.
Really good with insight. I should be checking that.
Yeah, that's
Thornton also agrees. Wow, Finny also
I'm the least
agrees.
insightful.
All right, we may as well see how clueless I am.
I can tell you, like, I'm not gonna.
Not
I have a
insightful.
problem handing it over because, like, our reputation in this town is just starting, and we don't want to like lose the very first deal we got.
Right.
Yeah,
So I ain't handing this over for nothing. So
basically, we'd have to fight you too.
The ship must not reach Cyranor with the fragment.
You know, this might not mean much to you, but my friend Thornton's honor's on the line here.
The honor of one man means nothing to the survival
man.
of the kingdoms.
Not
Does
a robot.
Thornton not identify as male? I thought he
Dwarf.
Dwarves
Yes.
have males and females.
yeah.
The females just look like males, but you know,
More so.
They have
Yes.
shinier beards.
yeah.
Well,
I mean, I don't think that we're giving this thing up. Do you guys think we're giving this thing up?
I think that the method of going about getting it by sending those merfolk was not a cool way to do it. Talking might have been a little better, so I'm not really interested in...
Yeah, this whole
Parlaying with
conversation
someone
prior to
who's-
trying to kill us might have meant more to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if she's not being completely honest, and it is a job that we're paid to do, so we do have, we want to get 5 stars on this Yelp review. So
Yeah, I'm not walking away empty-handed, and my reputation's, tainted. Nope.
She looks over to the closest servant or whatever they are, and just sort of gestures with her hand, and they all immediately draw their swords out.
That's cool. I feel like this would be a bad place to have a giant elk.
Is this our order, or are we rolling now for order?
You guys are rolled and you are in, unless you want to roll separately, in which case you can. But I just, because it's a one button click for me, so I can just select the tokens and get them in. But yeah, if you want to roll them manually, you can too, and I can change the number.
No, I'm alright with that. About what time of day is it right now, Alex?
It was around like 2-ish.
In the afternoon?
Yeah.
Okay, so we got some time left.
Panther time.
Alright, let me
Well, I have one more fuzzy creature I can drop. Speaking of fuzzy creatures. No?
Alright, so, the one next to Osan is up first, and he just rushes forward and does bad things to Thoradin.
That's
Oh
not
my.
very nice.
Oh my.
You know what? I should have tried to seduce her. Is it too
Not
late
too late.
to seduce the priestess?
Nope, blood has been drawn. He rolled a crit, nat 20.
Could be into that.
So this guy, like, you were just like a little bit surprised by his just sudden rush, and he gets 7 points of damage on Thoradin with his scimitar strike. And Lee, you're up next.
Right. Who do I want to target, man?
Bad guy.
Yeah, but which one? There are so many lovely targets.
There are.
Alright, I'm gonna like...
Say this is there.
I'm gonna step over here and two-handed attack this guy who's attacking Thoradin. Right?
sneak
My
attack.
dagger. What?
Sneak attack. You get bonus.
Yeah. Yes.
Can he
Yeah.
sneak attack at this point?
Yes.
Because I'm engaged with him.
Yeah.
She's behind me.
Correct.
It's a rogue thing.
Yeah, I
she
wasn't sure
always
if you
wants
had to
like,
actually sneak. That was my.
No, she wants to always like egg double team.
Yeah.
Double teaming is good.
There we are. Oh, come on. Okay, there it is. There's my first one.
All right, 14 hits.
Cool. And
Wow.
I like stabbing things. What can I say?
Stabbing things is good.
I mean, you stabbed him quite well. He just falls
Okay,
to the
stab
floor
it up.
dead.
Dude, I'm like later seasons Arya when she's learned how to water dance.
Love it.
Malibu stabby.
Love it.
Do I have any bonus actions? That's my turn.
All right. The guy next to runs up as well and slashes at Lee, who just took out his buddy. And he rolls an 11, which is not hit. So you manage to, with your other dagger, which you did not have to use to attack the first guy. You managed to block his scimitar and parry it out of the way. Third one moves up, also attacks Lee. And big miss with a 5. He wasn't even close.
Lee's not having it.
She's ducking. She's weaving.
Miss Osan, there in the back. She is casting on Thoradin.
Is it a love spell?
It is not.
Spell of increased wealth.
So Thoradin, I need you to make a intelligence saving throw.
But you didn't tell us what the spell is yet.
Depends on if it takes. I did. It's in chat actually. And so Thoradin, suddenly from beneath you, the floor just drops out.
No.
Where you're standing, so it's just air, and you begin to at least think that you're falling to your death.
Can I react and try to grab onto something? Like the dead guy in
Well,
front of me?
you failed your save. Let's see, is it a real? You want to grab the guy?
Like grab onto him to see if he can anchor me from falling.
Ah, you can try that on your turn, sure. And she moves to there. And Finny, you're up next.
Okay. So I'm thinking we can handle the little ones. I need to cast a moonbeam on Big Baddie here.
And you saw that Thoradin suddenly, like, something weird happened because she did something to him. She clearly cast a spell. There was some sort of this reddish sort of flow of energy transferring from her to Thoradin, and then suddenly Thoradin just starts flipping out, like you're not sure exactly what she did.
He's not actually falling. He's just flipping out, right?
He just thinks that he's falling.
Probably
Then I'm
flailing
gonna
my
be
arms
moving
around.
her.
Yep.
Oh, that was not a good roll, like in any way.
Oh.
Damn it! I just threw away my shot there.
And you said you weren't gonna throw it away.
Right?
Yeah.
So,
Yes.
But you're young and scrappy and hungry.
can you
Wow.
throw the spell card into chat, please, or tell me what the radius is of the moonbeam?
It
120
didn't
feet.
work.
It did.
5
Yeah.
foot radius, 120 feet away.
Oh, like
She's
it doesn't
gotta do
matter.
She's
Oh,
got to do
nice,
the
yeah.
save.
Nice.
Yeah, it's gonna be safe. 5 foot radius, 120
how
feet
do I-
distance, 6 radiant.
No, that just cast again. Here we go. Dispel. Okay. That working? Yes.
All right, so 5 foot radius. So we need a spell. Ding, ding, ding.
Oh wow, that's a very pretty spell.
It's a big 5 feet.
Very moonbeamy.
Yeah, we can't ever play it like like person anymore. It'd be
I
such a
know,
letdown.
it's just,
Right,
I'm
like,
sorry I wasn't this good.
No.
hey, your sketches with the dry erase marker were pretty wonderful, and I loved them.
At least I provided snacks. We'll say that.
Yep.
that's true.
They actually have plastic
still being
overlays
provided
like
with
this that you can use for tabletop games. All right, so your moonbeam crashes down. She made her Constitution check, so she dodges the beam as it hits. And oh wait, no, she still took half
No,
damage.
she still takes half damage.
Yeah, so she took a glancing blow of 3 points of radiant damage.
Gee.
Hey, it's something. That thing stays there. You can move it.
All right, and is that it for you, Finny?
Yeah, I think I'm just gonna hold position. So yes.
All right. Panther is up.
Panther's gonna attack this guy right here. Or is Lee in the way and I should have him attack this guy?
Of course my script stopped working. Alright. Panther, and it still hasn't moved. And I don't want to, let's see if I can... Previous? Yep, previous turn. Okay, I can shift it. Next turn. Oh, and you broke again. Something about the Panther it does not like.
Alright, the Panther is gonna do a claw/pounce attack on that bad guy that he is currently standing in front of.
Okay.
So, claw first.
Well, first, ask questions later.
21.
Yep, he hit with that.
And that's that. And he cuts. So 5 damage. And the guy has to make a DC 12 strength saving throw.
Okay. Nope.
Alright, he's knocked prone then, and because he's knocked prone, I get a bonus action of a bite attack.
Nice.
Nice.
For 20.
Wow.
20 points of damage? Jesus.
No, for 20 for the bite attack.
I know, I'm just kidding.
And another 5 damage. Alright, well that wasn't very useful. He's all prone now.
So the Panther swept in with one claw, knocked him onto his ass, and then just came right in to the neck and
Ripped his throat out.
ripped his throat out. And now it is Lux's turn as blood splashes onto the wall.
Alright. Lux is gonna kinda do her corner thing a little bit here, and then I am going to firebolt this gentleman over here. Is it a gentleman or is it a lady?
That is a
Or
gentle.
it's a them. It doesn't matter.
It's a they.
It's a they. So they are going to get firebolted.
You're gonna get firebolted.
Ooh, apparently not. Nice. For 6.
Is that just a 2-hit roll?
It's just a 1. Yeah.
Oh, okay, so you missed. So the firebolt splashes against the stone wall, kind of fizzles out.
Well, I can't think it's something useful. I'm not.
The guy looks up and goes, whoo!
Don't like it hot.
And some sweat when the heat is on. Alright, Thoradin. So you're currently falling as the floor disappears from underneath you. You've said you wanted to try to grab a hold of the guy to keep yourself, because like there's like, it's not like you're falling back off of the floor beneath you just disappeared, so you're just falling straight down. I think your mic might be muted. I don't hear you. If only everyone had webcams, we'd be able to see if he's there or not.
How about now?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Yay.
Yeah, alright, sorry. Alright, so I wouldn't feel like I feel like I'm falling straight down. I wouldn't feel like I could like tuck and roll in a direction or to try to
No, because there's nothing to roll from.
nothing to roll push off of.
Right.
So yeah, then I think I'm gonna try and like reach out and grab like
The edge.
somebody just, but no, yeah, like I was going to try and grab an edge or grab the guy in front, that guy in front of me, hoping that I can like hold on and he would keep me from falling.
All right. Make an athletics check.
can do.
Someone just pop a cork on a bottle of wine.
I can't believe you heard that. But you don't hear me.
So yeah, you managed to dig your fingers into the stone right at the edge of where the hole opened up beneath you, and you're hanging for dear life right now.
So you just drop a raisin.
And to everyone else, Thoradin is laying on the ground like a baby, kicking his legs, with his hands out in front of him, gripping onto the ground for some reason.
Nice. Great. Do I get to roll to try to get out of this head game, or do
Let's see what the spell says. And oh, okay. And you also took 1d6 psychic damage from the. You believe it to be the impact of the when you grabbed. You kind of hit your chin on the stone as you were grabbing for it, and did that roll? There it goes.
ouch?
So 5 points of psychic damage.
No, go lie down. Why would you even try and fit under there? Go lie down. Go lie down.
She's not talking to me, I swear.
Now she's talking
So
to
the target.
Usually, yes.
So the target can use its action to examine the phantasm with an intelligence investigation check. If the check succeeds, then the phantasm ends. But this round you use your action to grab a hold of the edge. So next round you can make that save.
But he didn't know that previous.
He didn't know what.
That he could do the check?
Well, it wasn't something that he would check for at the moment, because as far as he knew, the floor just fell out from underneath him and he was falling to his death.
Okay.
So you're instinctually, you're not going to immediately think, is this real? You're just going to react to the stimuli that's occurring to you at the time.
And then you start to wonder, why is everyone laughing at me?
Yeah, what's going on?
So I'm laying on my belly, right, holding on to this guy like he's helping me somehow.
You're holding onto the dead corpse with one hand and the floor with the other, kicking your feet out, kind of doing a
Sounds fair.
and Gareth is up.
Okay. I look at Osan and I say, listen, I know you think that men are bad, and it's true because a lot of them are, but honestly, I'm hashtag not like other guys. And I just threw my card down and I don't know where it went.
Oh, what was it? Oh, I see it. Oh, really? Oh,
Yeah.
shit.
Nice.
Yes!
This is the first time in any of my games that this card was ever played.
I love it!
So then I turn to her and I'm just like, let's talk.
They create a problem for you though. That's not a good thing.
All right. All
I told
right.
you it would break the DM.
I'm not broken. I am merely battered, but not broken. I'm so thrilled that it's being played, because literally, I mean, it's been in hands before, but no one has actually ever used it
Oh,
until this very moment.
this is great.
I figured this would be a slightly difficult time to use it.
I think it's fantastic.
So,
Alex said, we're going to recess now for 20 minutes while I think this.
While I rewrite the campaign.
okay, well, we'll see what she does on her turn. It gives me a couple of minutes to decide on what she's gonna do.
Alright.
All right, and you still have an action too, or a movement.
You
Playing
can shake your booty.
I take out my winky and I shake it at her.
I'm not gonna roll for Winky. I mean, part of me would assume that people are just going to stop attacking us because of that. So I'm going to.
I mean, there's no, with this card, there's no save. This woman is in love with you now, basically.
Right.
So, so you don't have to worry about what if it doesn't take effect, or no, it's yeah.
So I'm going to hold an action. So in case one of the other characters comes and attacks me, I want to attack them back. But other than that, I really don't want to do anything.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
It makes
'Cause
total
I'm going to
sense.
assume that she's going to settle things when it's her turn.
Right.
I also don't want to. And also having her fall in love and then like killing her servants, clan, friends, whatever, soldiers might.
Start a relationship. It really isn't.
That is, yeah. I've done that on first dates. It's not ideal. So I'm just gonna hold an action in case someone attacks me.
Okay. And you're gonna hold that position too?
I don't know. I could move up for a smooch.
Do it.
I'm gonna move up a little bit so that I'm
Careful
kind of.
about the perimeter of that moonbeam spell, though. You don't forget.
That's
Yeah.
true. Okay, yeah, I'll just move up a little.
Pretty.
Glancing down at the Thoradin baby as you walk past with a raised eyebrow.
I mean, is there any way I could help him, or?
You could, yeah, I mean, you could move over and try to help him to his feet.
Okay, then I'm gonna, instead of earning an action, I'm gonna help him to his feet, and like try to help him like calm him down, or see if there's anything he can do to relieve his
Slap me in
anxiety.
the face.
Alright, so Thoradin, suddenly Gareth grabs a hold of your arm and goes to pull you up.
Help!
Yeah, he pulls you up out of the hole. And, now, as far as Thoradin knows, he's still over the hole. But I don't know if Gareth would know well enough to shift him to one side or the other.
Well, once Thoradin starts screaming, don't let me go! Don't set me down!
Don't let go, Jack.
Don't drop me!
I got you. It's okay.
Not the beard!
Alright, so let's see, he's gone. He's still alive. He's gone. No, you're gone. Damn it! Alright, this guy is going to move forward into the space where the other guy was previously before he had his neck ripped out, and he's going to slash at the panther. And he hits for 21 points of damage for 3.
Oh, that would be the end of the panther. Oh, 3. Okay.
Yeah,
I was
only
like,
3.
well, that's inconvenient.
So just a flesh wound.
Does the panther have his? Yeah. Okay. You're taking care of it.
Yep, I got it.
Lee, welcome
All
back.
right, we're back to Lee.
Alright, I'm going to two-handed attack the butthead that's right in front of me.
Get that butthead.
Well, that sucks. See if the second
Oh,
one's
that
better.
was a critical
I was gonna say,
miss.
did you pull a Mel?
Well, I got him on the second time for 5.
Let's see what would have happened. Ooh. Alright, so first one misses completely. Your second attack, unfortunately, you don't get the sneak attack bonus on the second attack. So you just do the 5 points of damage because your first whiff completely throws your balance off. And so your second strike, it actually hits, but it doesn't hit as well as what you were hoping. but still did, to him, quite a bit of damage.
Okay, we all have these.
We do.
My roll didn't hit either.
As we wait for the script to catch up, there it goes. Okay, and that's the. Okay, no, it's him. All right, and as a retort, he strikes out at you with his scimitar, Lee. And I think he hits. Yep, 15. So he slashes you for 7 points of damage. Right in the stomach area. Ouch. This is the one that's dead.
Now you got up Pierce belly button.
Looks cute.
And Finny, you are up.
Okay. So, how big is my entanglement? Like 20?
Entangle would be
But it would get us to...
that big.
Yeah.
Unless you just had it right there to catch them on the edge of it.
I mean, you could scoot over just a little bit, because we want to make sure we get them really low. Oh, no, that is too far. Okay, yeah, scoot it back a little bit. Thanks. So, I cast that. Boom.
That's mad entangle.
Alright, so from between the stones of the floor and the walls, these vines and ivy begin to creep out and fill this space. And strength saving throw. We'll start with the wounded one in the middle.
Also, that makes the moonbeam go away so that, you know, the love can become more requited than it currently is.
Now the love is, you don't know about the love. This is like, Gareth right now is the only one who knows.
I heard his conversation. I know his effect.
Yeah, we knew this was coming.
We saw the eyebrow.
We conferred over this previous.
But in game, you would not know.
Alright.
He gave,
Yeah, except for the eyebrow, you know.
Gareth used
Gareth
his,
tried to use power of eyebrow upon.
he used his smoldering effect.
Shoulder.
Yep.
He did the eyebrow thing like the rock.
You just know that hashtag not all men works.
Yep, right.
And the other one
Macaroni.
also wrote a 6, so both of these guys are entangled. Which means they restrained. So let's go in here. And can we do more than one token at the same time? Let's see. Restrained. We'll just say 10 for now. Alright, you can do more than one at once, so they are both restrained. And anything else for Finny?
She's gonna do right now.
Where is my other battle music?
Are you changing it to like sexy time music?
Battle.
Right.
Let's get it on. There it is. Alright, Osan is up. She kind of she shakes her head and she looks at you like suddenly she recognizes you. Like she's seeing you with knowledge rather than just being a mass of strangers. Suddenly she's like picked you out as an individual, and she casts on herself
Stamina.
Nice.
What did you say?
Fantastic.
Stamina.
Stamina. She cast Viagra at 3rd level on you. You see her.
Being a wood merchant.
You see her cross her arm in front of her chest, and suddenly this reddish kind of magical shield of energy appears in front of her, sort of rising up from this center point. It sort of and fills the air in front of her. And that gives her a plus 13 plus dexterity. 13, 14.
This does not sound like love making.
Don't yuck my yums.
She just cast a shield on him.
She's not charmed. She legitimately is in love with Gareth now, but that doesn't change anything else that she wanted or needed. So she's a little conflicted right now, but not so much that she can't defend herself. And that was at will.
So she
And
casts
she
a
moves
shield
around
on
the
him
corner.
Or a shield on herself.
On herself.
Okay.
And now it is Lux's turn.
Panther's turn, actually.
Oh, you're right. Thank you. Thank you for remembering. Panther's
So
turn.
the panther is going to. This guy's dead, right?
There are
Only remaining.
there are
living?
two guys living. One that's wounded, and then another one that's still alive and
This
unwounded.
guy's standing on top of a dead body.
He's standing over it. Yeah.
Okay, all right. I guess the panther is going to do his claw attack. Does not have the ability to pounce, so it will be a claw only.
Okay.
20 should hit.
Yep.
And then that's not the right thing. That's what I meant to roll.
All right. 4 points of damage. Give him a nice slash right across his chest.
And the panther hisses at him. The sun is now out of view, right?
Right.
So I am going to move up just a little, and then I am going to cast on this one. We're going to try that firebolt again to see if it works any better this time.
That's a hit.
Alright, 6 points of damage then.
So the bolt catches him, and he just starts flailing at himself, stumbling forward, and he falls through the hole in the floor. Actually, I guess there wouldn't be a hole in the floor left. Man, that was very dramatic. Oh well, he gets hit in the chest, starts burning, falls back into the vines. He's writhing, and eventually he is still. I don't know why it hasn't shown his death yet, because he is absolutely, definitely, most certainly dead. And Thoradin.
Alright, so
This,
am I on my feet at this point? 'Cause he's
there he
down there.
goes. You are, as far as you know, you're sort of being held up in the air by Gareth. So Thoradin is just sort of waving his legs. Even though his feet are on the ground, he's almost like moonwalking in place. And you scramble to get to, since Lux moved up, the only place that you can move with solid ground is either there or there. Whichever you
Okay.
prefer. And then you can make your investigation check to see if you can disbelieve.
Yeah. I'd like to go there. And then what do I need to roll again?
Investigation, although technically you're on solid ground now. So you may not even bother to check. As far as you're concerned, you know,
Okay.
you're on solid ground now.
He's feeling better.
All right.
I mean, the hole is still there. As far as you know, that space right there where you were is completely collapsed in.
Okay. Then I think I'll just take a step away from the hole, like maybe to there still, and gather myself.
Okay. All right. Thoradin is gathering.
Gathering for.
It's a Friday night. It's probably Roll20 being slow because there's so many people playing right now. But it
That's
is
true.
Gareth's turn now.
Okay.
Seduce her!
I'm gonna come to Osan and say, you know, let's stop all this fighting. Let's talk this out. Let's see if we can come to some sort of understanding. Now, so does Gareth know, like, in game, how did that card work? So does Gareth know that she just fell in love with him?
Let's say that you guys know each other
Okay.
from a long time ago when you were teenagers.
Okay.
There was a summer where she was a young girl, you were a young boy, you guys were at camp.
Okay.
You had six weeks of heaven, and then returned to your homes, and her parents, your parents, they would not approve, so it was very heartbreaking. And now, in that moment when you played the card, you recognized her, even though she looks totally different than what she did back then. You saw her for who she actually is, and she recognized you in that same moment.
Okay. So it's Osan, I remember you, and it looks like you remember me back at Camp
Campo 3.
Paul Pines. We had that special week together, and I think we need to just revisit what we were talking about before and try to come to an understanding about what's going on here, because I don't want anybody else to get hurt. I don't want anybody else to die.
It was 6 weeks, you son of a bitch, and she slaps you, and then she immediately pulls you in for an embrace.
Okay. I hug her tightly. I rolled a hug.
Make a hug check.
Okay, would that be strength?
I think it's more of a dexterity thing.
Okay, so when I say I mean like a Lee hug, so I'm gonna like pick her up and like shake her and like all that.
Check.
And shake her. Throw her up against the wall.
I'd say for a Lee hug, it would be athletics.
Athletics,
Yeah, I
sure,
agree.
sure. It wasn't great,
No,
but
it
it
wasn't.
was enough.
Okay.
You guys
I mean,
met.
there has been a pandemic. Lee's out of practice.
If anything can be taken away from this moment is that you both met each other on equal ground, because you both rolled about the same.
Okay.
So both of your hugs, both of the hugs matched each other as far as skill level goes.
Okay.
You like almost bonked your head, but you didn't.
I
Yes.
knew our boy had some charisma in there somewhere.
That was just athletics. I didn't even use my charisma yet.
All right. So
We don't know
now.
what's going on other than you're hugging the enemy, so that's all I got.
Like, what kind of a weird wrestling move is this? I don't understand. Why is he doing hand-to-hand combat here?
Rich people. All right, and now it's taking the initiative counter a second to catch up, but it is this guy's turn.
Yeah, this is gonna be
And
weird for everybody because they just saw me like hallucinate and flop on the ground like a fish, and then him like fall in love with her, return with an old love flame.
you
What is
are
her
not
big
wrong.
power?
And this guy is going to strike out at the Panther again for another 7 points of damage.
Yeah, 17 definitely hits. The Panther's hurting now. It's alright, Panty.
And Lee, it is back to you.
Okay, so I'm going to two-handed attack that remaining bad guy.
Okay. Nice, that is a hit. Both of them are hits. 21 points of damage total. All you needed was 5. So he is
Stop
at
stabbing him. He's already dead.
he is at -16. So you just opened him up like navel all the way up to neck, and
And then I believe I get...
so he is dead, most certainly
Yeah.
dead, and
So I get a bonus action every turn that I can take, and one of the options is dash.
okay.
Yep.
So I am going to come up around the corner here to figure out what the fudge is going on.
All right, so as soon as you're around the corner, I don't even know if you would make it that far, because as soon as you came around the corner, you see Gareth and Osan hugging.
And then I'm like, what the fuck?
Is it very evidently amorous, or could it be misconstrued for, aggression?
Make an insight check if you like.
Okay,
From here.
insight. Oh, good. That's a +0, baby.
So you're not sure? I mean, it doesn't look like a combat hug, although Gareth is kind of flailing her around a little bit. So you're just confused more than anything.
So I'm just standing there bleeding out of my tummy, confused.
Yeah, basically.
Cool.
You kind of look back over at the rest of the group who are still back there and shrug and at them.
Okay, that's all I got.
All right, we are out of combat now officially, so what would everyone like to do?
Okay, so he's done well enough that...
Wow. I'm gonna come on up here to witness this hugging.
I assume we've stopped hugging by now.
Never stop.
And I say, Osan, can you be honest with me?
Oh, why did it have to be you? Why did it have to be you?
Is someone moving my screen around? Because I'm getting motion sickness.
Nope. I am not
Why is
moving
it-
your screen.
It's so mean.
And she turns and opens the door next to her. And steps through into the room. There in the center of the room you can see
I follow her.
there's it's like a workshop of sorts. There's a large reindeer skin rug on the floor, along with several work tables and several cages holding some weird leathery bird bat thing. I'm not even sure what are in these cages. It's not a bird. It's not a bat. It's not a mosquito. It's somewhere in between all of those things.
I say, Finny, you should get a look at this so you can turn into it later.
Oh, yes.
Nice.
The centerpiece of the room is a black stone on top of a tree log, with 4 links of an iron chain extending out to one side, pulled towards the ship, and there's a hollow space shaped like a hockey puck, only bigger, like the size of a grapefruit, in the side of the stone. What was that?
You said grapefruit. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
No.
No.
Lie down.
Oh,
Nobody
I thought you were
likes
saying.
you.
I like you.
Dogs are having they're over here crying and whining and.
They're 15 minutes out.
No, I guess
Who's 15 minutes out? What?
from dinner.
They eat dinner in
Oh,
15
from
minutes.
dinner. Okay. And
Okay,
so
so
you could see this chain that's pulled tight, just sticking out into space. But then this beam of violet energy is coming from it and going out through the wall towards the direction of where the ship is, out in the Wyrmsheart. She moves over to the floor along the wall and puts her back against the wall and just sort of slides down into a seated position with her hands in her head, with her head in her hands, with her head in her
Okay.
hands in her head.
I kind of turn to the rest of the party and say, I've known her for a long time. Can you give us a few minutes of privacy?
Mm-hmm.
I slowly make my way back to just barely over the threshold.
I go back there, turn into a rat, sneak back in, and hide under the table. For
Nice.
safety, not voyeurism. Come on.
Or both.
Why not both? Safety and voyeurism.
I go
Um,
next to her and kind of squat down next to her and say, Osan, please, can you be honest with me?
Magnus just groaned.
So, Finny, you're using your last wild shape?
We're not in combat.
Right, but it
This
still takes a...
counts.
It's still...
Oh, does that count?
Yeah. Yeah, you don't get free wild shapes if you're not fighting.
Yeah.
Wait, what do you mean last?
I thought you only had one left. For
I
the day.
slept on the boat. I'm full.
That's right, you didn't use one in that last fight downstairs, did
Right.
you?
Yeah.
Okay. So, you turn into a rat. Go ahead and make a stealth check.
What are you doing? What is going on with this computer? Very stealthy. But I'm a rat. I mean, come on.
And Gareth, make a perception check. See if you can beat a 7.
It's fine with me if he knows I'm in there.
Oh, yeah. So as soon as
He knows I'm in there.
As soon as that little needle nose and those whiskers came out from underneath the door, you immediately saw Finny, or a rat. You might assume it was Finny since he heard your shape change out there, but... So do you react at all, or do you let her come in?
Does Osan know that she's there?
Let's see. Perception is wisdom or intelligence? I don't remember.
It is.
It's wisdom.
Yes.
She does not seem to notice.
Okay. Then I'm going to say, well, I'm going to close the door so we can have complete privacy. And I slowly walk over there so that if Finny chooses to leave, she can.
Well, I'm looking at your face to see if you want me there or not. Like, if you actually want privacy or you want the semblance of privacy.
It does to me. It doesn't matter one way or the other.
Okay. I don't
I'm-
love the idea of leaving you alone with a sorceress, no matter how she feels about you.
I say you
That's
stay.
fair. Okay, then stay.
Okay, I'll just hide
And
under the table. I turn my back a little.
I close and I go sit down next to her and I say, okay, it's just us here. Can you please be honest with me?
Oh, I've done some things since I've seen you, Gareth.
Oh, yes, it has been a while since Camp Fluffernutter.
You said
Tall
like
trees.
tall tree or
pine.
something, tall pines or yeah. You don't want to be involved with this.
I don't want to be involved with what? With you? With the fragment? With what?
With any of it.
Why did you bring us here? Why do you want the fragment?
We'll just pretend it didn't work. We'll just pretend it didn't work. Why don't we just pretend that it didn't work, and I will take the restraint off of your ship, and you can just sail on to Cyranor and do what you were going to do.
That sounds good to us.
But if there is, and I take her by the hands and I say, if there's actual danger in someone else getting this fragment that is going to hurt everybody, I would like to know. I don't want anyone to get hurt. I want the least number of people to get hurt. So what do I need to do or not do to make that happen?
These are powers that no one fully comprehends. They are capable of beautiful and terrible things. I didn't lie to you about everything. The fragment is a terrible power. It is where all of this magic comes from, and if it fell into the wrong hands, it would not be good for anyone. And then she takes your hand and looks at you in the eye and says, I am not good hands. You need to leave.
Magnus cried at that.
What happened? Is there anything that I can do to help you?
She sort of lashes out a little bit at that point, not at you, but she just throws your hand down in a huff. Ah! And she stands up and she walks over to the work table and she slams her hands down onto it, and you see sort of this reddish energy kind of cascading, not really cascading, but it's sort of pulsing out from underneath her palms, and these sort of tendrils of reddish glow sort of curling up into the air and then fading away as she stands there with her hands on the table. And then she turns and looks at you and says, Gareth Legant, I have loved you since that day when we left, and I always will, but you need to leave. Please.
I say we go, bro.
Yep, let's just get. I twitch my whiskers urgently.
I mean, is there any way I can tell if she's like possessed by something or?
Make an insight check.
Okay. 'Cause I'm a little curious as to what's going on here.
Take a hint.
Big Gareth or little Gareth talking?
That's more Jacob talking.
You don't know.
Okay.
Not enough information. You aren't sure what's happening. It's obvious that she feels strongly about what she's saying. It's obvious that she's a little freaked out
Okay.
and probably scared.
Right.
You don't doubt her feelings.
Okay. I say, Osan, it's obvious that my being here has caused a lot of emotion and confusion for you, and I don't want to put you through any more pain or anguish or hurt or anything. So could you help me remove the restraint on the ship, or show me how to remove it, and then
Right at that moment, she reaches out with her right hand and grabs a hold of the chain, and this pulse of red energy kind of just comes out of her hand, and as soon as that happens, the chain goes limp, and that violet line of energy dissipates.
And our ship goes away.
And the ship takes off at 80 miles an hour.
It's been holding that power for like 8 hours. And it's just,
Yeah.
All that stored energy just shot off like a rubber band.
like, oh,
So maybe we should have let Tilder give us 4 hours to get to the boat.
we will leave now, and I hope you can find peace. And then I look to see if there's anything else she wants to say as I kind of like slowly make my way towards the door.
She steps forward and takes your hand, and into your palm she places, it's this green stone medallion that she wore in camp, that on the
That's so
back
nice.
on the back you had very crudely etched your initials and her initials into the metal. They were kids. Come on.
I like it.
I mean, it's no pink trash can.
And she puts it in your palm and closes your fingers around it.
I didn't know that you still had this. Here's, I show her my finger like that's the scar I got when trying to carve that.
Wait, where is the scar?
On his penis.
That's not how you hold a jackknife.
That's not how you hold a jackknife.
Never
That's
carved.
why he's got a scar.
Is it
Nice.
is it on your hand? You're like a finger or
Yeah.
something?
Yeah.
She raises your hand up and gently kisses where the scar is.
Now he's really wishing man.
And I hold her hands tied and say,
I have another scar.
"That's not my only scar. I hope to see you again under better circumstances." And then start heading towards the door.
She just stands and watches you.
Aw, it's almost sad.
We need the background music and everything for this. This is so
I
cute.
feel so sick.
I love it.
And yeah, I guess I open the door and I make sure not to like close it completely behind me, so Finny can in fact get out.
No, no.
That'd be really fun. Just like close it tight.
Ah, shit.
you belong to Osad now.
Hey.
More like oh sad. And then I go to the team and I said, the restraint on the ship is gone.
Well played, sir.
Well done. How are you?
Well, did you have to take one for the team?
I would rather not talk about it.
I pat you on the back gently.
All right, let's get out of here.
You pat him as you ride the platform down, and as you step out of the tower, you can see silhouetted up in the upper window is Osan, just standing there watching you as you depart.
That's hilarious.
Why is that hilarious?
Just the whole thing's hilarious. It's fantastic. I love it. Well played.
Do you guys want to go ahead and
you
guys want to go ahead and feed the dogs dinner? This might be a good moment for that.
I need to hear.
Yeah. What's looking like the length of our remaining gameplay will be?
We have a bit.
Okay.
Okay, I'll feed the dogs real quick if there's a bathroom break going on.
We are at no immediate risk of running out of stuff.
All right. I'm really sad that I can't just play all night.
Do we need to just take like a 30-minute time for you to do your thing and come back?
Oh, I don't know what everyone else's time thing is like.
I have got nothing.
I mean, is it like an all-night freedom for everyone?
I could probably reasonably stay awake until like 11.
I mean, yeah, I don't need more than 30 minutes to hop off. I mean, they're not starting till 9.
So you want to rejoin at 9:30 then?
Yeah, that's what. Hold on, let me make sure that some fucking they didn't all back out on it. Not in the invite. Check this out. You guys are the bestest. I tried to change it. Saddle will go back this weekend, Heidi. Did Heidi leave us?
Yeah, she had to go pee. I can pass a message to her if you like.
Let me check to see if it's happening or not. Or if I have to FaceTime her.
All right, you check. I gotta go pee too. So I'll be back, and if you're not here, then I will see you at just after 9:30, and if you are, then we will resume now.
Sounds fabulous.
Okay.
Show starts in 8 minutes. Yum, yum. It's time for a tasty and refreshing snack. Promise to satisfy your hunger, your thirst, your sweet tooth. So visit our refreshment center now. Let's go! Show starts in 7 minutes.
It's refreshment time, folks.
Taste that beats the others cold. Pepsi pours it on. Taste that beats the others cold. Pepsi pours it on.
Yum, yum. It's a meal in itself. Our all-meat super dog. Enjoy one now.
Show starts in 6 minutes.
As everyone knows, rainbows usually have a treasure at the end. Let's follow this one and see if we can find the pot of gold.
Father, and I suppose you've come to claim me treasure.
Well, we'd like to see the gold first.
Faith, and there's better than gold in here, me lad. No, just look here, no.
Candy, refreshing soft drinks, popcorn, ice cream. Well, that's some treasure, but anyone can buy luscious treats like these at the snack bar.
You don't tell me. Do you suppose you could get me a job as a snack bar attendant?
Show starts in 5 minutes.
We're happy to have you with us this evening and want you to enjoy every minute of your stay here. And while you relax and stretch, visit our concession where you'll find something to please you. There are ice-cold drinks, delicious sandwiches, ice cream, coffee and snacks, and many other pleasing treats. Our foods are fresh and tasty, our drinks satisfying and refreshing. They're so good.
You get more out of life when you go out to a movie.
Show starts in 4 minutes.
Visit our snack bar and treat yourself to some delicious Castleberry's pit-cooked barbecue sandwiches. Cook the Castleberry way, slowly over open pits of glowing charcoal, then seasoned with a sauce that's zesty, yet delightfully mild to please the entire family. Also at the snack bar, you'll find popcorn and soft drinks and candy and French fries to go with your Castleberry's barbecue sandwiches. There's plenty of time before the movie starts, so visit our snack bar right now for Castleberry's pit-cooked barbecue sandwiches.
Still plenty of time to come and be served at the refreshment center before showtime.
Show starts in 3 minutes. Show starts in 2 minutes.
Your attention, please. All new hotshot electric in-car heaters have been installed for your comfort and convenience. Just insert heater through car window and turn on the switch. When leaving, please turn switch off and replace on speaker post. Warning, high voltage. For your own safety, do not attempt to repair or remove wires. Do not attempt to open heater unit. If you need assistance, please notify the theater box office or concession manager.
Show starts in 1 minute.
Please remember to replace the speaker on the post when you leave the theater.
And now, on with the show.
Jacob's like, come get him, baby.
All right, so the turtle yoinks you along at probably twice the speed you would be going normally if you were just using the oars. And so you're able to get back to the ship in 2 hours, and you are happy to see that the ship is still where you left it. They waited for you. It is about it's about 4 o'clock in the late afternoon, early evening now. Can you what?
I was gonna say, could I have taken a short rest during that time? But I guess if it's getting later in the day, I won't worry about it.
You could, yeah. If you just, I mean, that's all you're going to be doing anyways, just sitting there for 2 hours. So if you wanted to use that for a short rest,
yeah, I wanted to try to get recover some of my hit points.
All right, go ahead and do a short rest through D&D Beyond.
Yeah, me too. I'm hurt pretty bad.
Yeah, I'll do a short rest.
Yeah, are you going to explain to anyone what happened to you in that fight? Why you suddenly started flailing like a baby?
That's true.
No one's even asked the question.
Yeah, and I'm embarrassed.
You
I'm
alright?
embarrassed. Yeah, I explained that she must have cast something on me, and I envisioned a hole underneath me, and that I was going to fall to
So
my death.
both you and Gareth fell into her cavernous hole, is what you're saying.
Heavens. Well, they were both precipitously near, anyway.
I'll tell you, when I made the character, I did not know she had it in her. So.
Oh really? Yeah. So it totally freaked me out.
That's fair.
And then-
Magic does fucked up things, man. It's cool.
It did. It played with my head. That's why I'm like, it took me a minute to even gather my thoughts afterwards.
So we made it back to the boat.
And now we know where your barbarian is weak. Anything requiring a, what was it, a wisdom save or an intelligence save? I don't remember which one it was.
Yeah, it's intelligence. Yeah, I'm pretty weak in intelligence.
Duly noted. I'm making myself a note on my notepad, which is also my hand, because I'm not actually writing anything. So if you do a short rest in D&D Beyond, you can apply hit dice to spend, and it'll automatically credit it in Roll20. At least it should. That's the theory.
Alright, so does that
Looks
mean
like
I gained 8? Or wait, it says 13?
No, where'd it go?
It says rolled an 8 plus 5, or 1d, yeah, rolled an 8 plus 5 for 13?
Yeah. So it should automatically apply that to your tokens. I know it did it. I hope it did it for Gareth. Did it do that automatically, Gareth, or did you do that?
I had to do it. I had to. Well, I clicked the row hit dice and it wrote the 11, but then I had to go into D&D Beyond and add that 11 to my sheet. But then from the sheet it updated the row 20. So
Mine did not update roll 20.
There's like a missing step there, but whatever.
So yeah, Thoradin, if you want to go ahead and add that 13 to your hit points in D&D Beyond, Lee got hers.
Yeah, I should be at 31, and I'm not. So I'll.
You alright, Heidi?
Yep, sorry.
Hairball?
Yep.
Yeah, is there potential to take a long rest anywhere here?
Not at the current moment, because it's only about a 2-hour trip to get back to the ship. But certainly once you're on the ship and everything has been made secure and you guys are underway again, then you can go below decks immediately if you like.
That's
I know
what
it's
I'd like to do to recover.
No, we had our shifts worked out, but I didn't write down what they were.
But Alex did.
I know mine was the night shift.
Yeah, I was on night shift with you. So we should probably be on. By this point, we've been up for a while.
Yeah.
So your Panther putted out about an hour into the trip back.
So we're now at dawn, is what you're saying?
No. You're just now back to the ship.
Oh, there we are.
I should still have a panther.
How long? I thought it was only an hour duration. Is it longer than that?
No, it's till dawn the next day.
Till dawn the next. That's how long the animal lasts.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. So yeah, panther's. Your wounded panther is still with you.
I like to sail.
Yeah, you're gonna freak out these sailors.
I brought back Fran.
I'd like to thank and honor the tortoise and the sea turtle in some way. Oh, I could give it some of my salt cod.
The turtle kind of brings you up to the rear of the ship where the sailors are ready to connect it and hoist it back up, and once you get up top, the turtle sort of just its head out of the water there towards the rear of the ship. You toss down the salt cod, and it swims over, picks it up, gobbles it, and then disappears underneath the water.
So, what do we before we all go separate and like start doing shifts again? What do we think we should do with this fragment? Right, fragment.
Maybe we should just.
Do we go forward with it? I mean, I definitely don't want to leave empty-handed, and I definitely don't want our reputation to be. But I don't want the end of the world to happen either. So, like, is there another option?
I mean, we could
stay with it.
We could accompany it, yeah.
Observe the person who purchases it. Kind of, track the purchase and.
We could see how much it goes for. No, we didn't bring our gold with us.
No, but we brought our steel and tools.
We could
and our
not let it get there and pawn it ourselves, or
weren't you worried about our good name?
The rep, yeah, we need a rep here.
Yeah, but if we can repurpose it for something else, then. Or make a friend with a wizard that could use it or protect it, or a wizard school, or...
Probably don't have enough information to go on yet as far as what you should do. I mean, just as a society, that magic comes from somewhere. None of you are enchanters, so you don't have any direct experience with how these magic items are created, but you certainly know that there are exotic ingredients and things that are used during the process of creating this stuff. So
Would
it's
I
not
know anything more about it at this point? So I'm a researcher.
You know that you've never heard it referred to as a fragment before. There have been certainly exotic materials that you've researched and you've come across in your time. Usually, and we'll say it's some. I don't have the material name at hand, but it's some metal that isn't commonly used. It's a very exotic metal that you see come up in pretty much all, now looking back, it's like pretty much all of the standard recipes that you found for certain things call for this particular type of metal. And you know that the fragment that's in this particular crate on the ship does look like metal. So you just wonder if this is just what you've already known to be this exotic metal, what they're calling a fragment.
I mean, I think it's worth taking our rest and seeing what happens.
Yeah, as long as we have somebody on.
Yeah, who's up for guard duty at this point in time, Alex?
Well, let's check our list.
I was trying to look at the old chat, but I couldn't scroll back that far. It's like timing out when I tried to look at old chats.
Oh, I have it in
me too,
I have it in a form in the journal. In the campaign folder, there's a watches.
Oh yeah.
So sundown to midnight is the first watch, which is Thoradin and Lee. 5 a.m. to 1 p.m. and then 1 p.m. to 9 p.m. Sorry, we're in the second watch now. So 1 p.m. to 9 p.m. is Gareth and Finney.
Okay, I guess I'm on watch.
On duty.
I'm going to meditate.
I need a long rest to heal up more.
Yeah, Lux is going back to bed.
All right. I watch. What happened to the turtle?
It went away. It ate the
it went away.
salt and went away.
Okay.
Yeah, it took
Can I
the
go ahead
cod.
and hit long rest, Alex?
You can. All of you, in fact, can take a long rest now.
Except those of us on watch.
No, everyone can because 2 days have now passed.
That was a long watch. Kidding, I kid.
And now your watch has ended.
Oh, shoot.
So 2 days later, you continue the journey without incident, and this whole thing with Osana happened on the 16th, and on the 18th, you actually arrive in Cyranor.
Oh no.
Oh no, she says.
Oh no, what do we do?
Now we have to make a choice.
Magnus
So-
is crying.
So Cyranor is a huge city. It's the capital of Delephran. It's easily 20 times as large as Whitecap, with a sort of a mixture of new and old architecture. Many of the larger buildings have domed roofs, which is sort of a thing that they do in Cyranor. It's sort of an architectural thing that they develop there, with a mixture of stone and wood and clay. A city of some sort has sat here on the end of the Jade River for thousands of years. Locals, the local fashion scene tends to blend sort of human clothing, mostly wool, with a lot of natural furs and leathers, which is an influence from the north, with northern-inspired face paint becoming more and more common, particularly among the Rashian in Cyranor. And as sort of a rebellion against that, the local Lanfal, they kind of go against this practice by wearing more elaborate headwear and hoods. So you have the Rashian humans and their face paint, and the Lanfal humans and their hoods and their fancy hats. And I have a map.
You have a map?
Yay, we did it.
You have a map. It's a map. Most excellent of maps.
Why, thank you. So Cyranor has a population of about 104,000. It is the seat of the throne of Delephran, where King Jerethor Del resides. He is known as the Fourth Crown. Their sigil is a rising sun over mountains with antlers, representing their... They tend to... The sort of the state religion is of Anu, the one god who is the god of creation. And the docks are massive, like, 5 times as big as the one in Whitecap, and they have a whole section where they only build ships. that section is sort of over to the north side of the docks. The rest of the docks are all just cargo coming in and out of the city. Your ship comes in through the I don't even know what this would be called, but the water comes into the dock area, pulls up to one of the outer docks, and immediately begins to unload. As soon as they get there, the stuff starts coming off. And you are now in Cyranor, and I'm going to grab a drink real quick, and I'll be right back.
Is everyone bid?
Right. Shh, there he is.
Nope, yep,
Stop
okay.
talking about him.
Oh, what card are you going to play now?
All of them.
I make the city fall in love with me.
Oh, was that an option?
It is named.
It is named.
It's not playable, so it's technically an NPC.
Yep.
So as the ship is doing all of its docking procedures and the cargo is starting to be unloaded, Peria, the captain, sort of sitting there, watching over everything, and you go up to her and she just shakes her head and she's like, all right, let's not have trips like that again, shall we?
I wasn't the one driving.
Are we going back with her, or do we need to arrange for something else? Considering.
No, you're gonna be going back with her, but it is going to be about 3 days before they're going to be embarking to go back. I think that's right. I thought I typed that in somewhere. Where did I type that in? Where did I type it in? Dun 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 dun.
Typed in your face.
I'm not sure where I put it, but yeah, it was going to be a couple of days. They were going to be at dock in Cyranor, so you have a chance to disembark, explore the city a bit.
Yeah, I'd like to do that. But
Follow the fragment.
Yeah, I
so
think
do
that's
we
our
feel
plan
like
right now.
our job was to deliver it here, like
Yep.
job is done, or do we have to keep dibs on it until it is sold?
No, your job was just to get it to Cyranor.
Okay.
The
Do we know where it's going to be auctioned?
No, you don't.
Ever?
I think we'd like
is there
to
a way
find
for
that
us
out.
to find that out?
Is
Yeah.
dude that's gonna stay with it the whole time? Surely he knows.
Yes, but he's not allowed to tell you.
I think he would trust us after everything that's happened.
Right?
Oh, he definitely trusts you, but he's under orders. I mean, he.
Look, man, we sold
This is-
17 gold pieces off a bunch of dead bodies, so like
The auction house. The auction
We're
house.
gonna cast the veil back with us, right?
The auction house that this is being sold through, so much money moves through this place that it would make your eyes bleed. We're talking like the top pinnacle of big spenders.
Ooh,
So-
the 1%ers.
Yeah. So when you're talking that kind of money, it's like no one is untouchable at that level.
So they're what is that called? The Mets? They're Mets.
The what?
Mets.
From Aldred Carbon.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because we're there. I guess we just have to be shady AF and follow the thing then.
I've
That's
got
good, sneaky.
a lot of stealth.
We got some
I do
critters.
not.
I could follow it.
So
At
when
this
the
point, we have a full bag of tricks.
when the crate containing the fragment is unloaded, there is a retinue of city guard there to meet it. There are 20 of them. They're known as the Gold Sun, and they are all mounted, and they have a wagon with these very magnificent horses pulling the wagon, and the wagon is like this intricate piece of work. How much you want to bet what?
They're Frisians. They're always Frisians in the movies. Sorry, but moving right along.
Yeah.
No, they're not Frisians.
Really?
Yeah.
They're
what are they?
Dutch harness horses.
They're well-bred Dutch harness horses.
Okay, I'll accept that.
You're welcome, Alex.
I was going to say that. Dutch harness horses. I was going to say that. Thank you for backing me up there.
You're welcome.
But yeah, so there's this whole retinue of people there to guard the transfer of the fragment off ship and into the hands of the city. And it's carefully loaded down, brought out, loaded onto the wagon. It's a wagon with just the thickest sort of iron-gated door that is shut, and then several padlocks on it.
I want to do some sort of, I don't know, investigation or some check to make sure that they actually are loading it onto there, and that's not just like a decoy to try to throw people off.
Good idea.
Because I've seen all those like Ocean's 11s and all those types of movies. I can't think of a good example right now, but
I know what you're saying. Yeah, go ahead and make an investigation check.
I'll make one too.
Yeah, why not?
Investigation, there it is.
It did not roll well.
As far as anyone can tell, including Lee, this is the actual crate from the ship. You can see where you pieced it back together after the crash and everything, and you had to kind of put it back together and put the fragment back inside. So you still see all of those same marks and everything. As you feel pretty confident that this is the actual fragment being loaded onto this wagon.
Okay. Gareth feels better about that. That should also make it fairly easy to follow.
And the retinue starts off down through the dock area. There's a caller sort of out in front telling people to disperse and move to make way for the train coming through. What do you do?
We want to follow?
I follow at a safe distance.
And we follow at an even safer distance.
Follow.
All right, so the wagon sort of takes a course through the city. Actually, it probably wouldn't go that way. It would probably go this way, and it goes up down that road, and it turns left.
I pull out my skateboard, and I sketch on the back of it.
And it goes through Center Mark, and it turns...
Are you drawing on somewhere that we don't see?
On the map itself.
I see it.
There it goes.
Okay.
And it's going up through there, and it's going up through there. Then it turns right at the Dawn Arc, and then left, and it's heading for the castle gates.
Okay.
To where they pass through.
Have you been here before?
There's a chance as a visitor, probably not to the castle itself, but his family could have taken a trip at some point that he may have come with them on.
So is it going into the castle itself?
It goes into the castle itself, into the castle grounds. Very highly fortified gate, manned by...
Are we in good with the castle-y people?
They don't know you from... They don't know you.
I'm a simple sailor druid. Alright, should I become something real quick and scamper up onto that?
That's probably not a bad idea.
Okay, I duck behind whichever one of them is tallest. I guess I duck behind Gareth and transform and scamper on up the wagon wheel.
The wagons, I mean, you guys weren't right up next to it. It was a distance ahead of you, so as to not arouse suspicion. And it goes right through the gate when it gets there, and then the gate is closed behind it. Do you want to try to sneak past the gold sun?
I feel like
I couldn't. You chopped out there for a second.
Ooh, I want to try and fast.
Hold on, Heidi first.
Oh yeah.
What kind of gate is it?
It is a thick iron portcullis. And there are 2 layers of it. There's a sort of an outer portcullis and an inner portcullis.
Very, very Witcher. Okay. All right. And are there any other ports of entry?
From where you are standing, I mean, there are side entrances for soldiers on either side of this whole tower complex where the gates are. There might be something further down to the east or the west along the city wall, but not that you can see from where you are right now.
All right, guys, I'm gonna go for it.
I say you go for it.
Scamper.
I think it's a worthwhile risk.
I frisk and scamper like a regular rat.
All right, make a
mouse would be a better choice.
Am I able to do beast sense on her to get an idea of what in case she gets in danger?
Oh, that's pretty good.
That seems like that's something that's worth a Google search. Let's see. Google beast sense.
That's pretty good.
Wild shape.
That would be so super useful.
It really would.
It would work if they're willing. The spell ends when they change back to not being a beast anymore.
I'm willing. Right. And touch me, Thoradin.
All right. I touch you how you like it.
You scritch her little rat butt.
And then I scamper on.
All right, make a stealth check for me, Finny.
These never go well. These just never go well.
It will. It'll go well.
Oops, I didn't mean to do 2. Sorry. Not so well. Of course, it's busy and there's stuff going on. Oh,
so a guard sees you nearly immediately, and he just sees a rat coming towards the gate, so he just kicks and sends you flying like 15 feet away, and you go sprawling into the dirt.
Oh, that's harsh. Ugh.
But she gets in?
No, she got kicked back out into the city.
Alright. So I shake it off and try to go around to one of the soldier entrances and get in. Which takes a while, my little rat feet.
The doors are very well made. It's going to take yes, you are. It's going to take a dexterity check to try to scramble your way through the very tight opening. The doors are fresh and well tended, and the seams are small.
I need to get my head out of the gutter.
How about athletics or acrobatics? I don't have dexterity.
You have everyone has dexterity. It's one of your main abilities.
Big number up top?
Yeah.
I prefer acrobatics. I think acrobatics is more appropriate. Dexterity. Fine.
Yeah, you're just not able to find a good gap that's wide enough for you to be able to slink in.
How tall are the castle walls or whatever, the outer walls?
How tall are the walls?
Yeah.
This section of wall around the castle for the king are probably about 30-35 feet tall.
Oh darn it. Okay.
And they're buttressed and very thick.
But
I mean, we
doesn't
still have a
some-
panther, but I think someone would see him.
Doesn't somebody have a magic hand? Could they lift the rat up on top of the wall?
Can we just
That
yeet the
is
rat?
an excellent idea.
Please, yes. I come back in defeat.
Like, so how do you,
All
like,
right, I
trust
use my mage hand
the rat
to
over the
lift
wall?
the rat. How tall is the wall again?
About 35 feet.
35 feet?
Yeah.
All right, I use my mage hand to lift the rat to the top of the wall.
And how do you do this without being seen?
Lee and Thornton and Gareth start dancing provocatively, loudly, and badly about 10 feet away, screaming at the top of their lungs to bring all attention onto themselves.
Perfect.
Well, not Thornton. I have to stay focused, I think, on my animal beast.
Okay, so Gareth and Lee start making absolute fools of themselves.
In a lewd and provocative way. Fantastic.
Yes, it's ridiculous. Like
no one can look away.
No one can look away.
A group of
I can
about
roll for performance.
one of the Gold Sun soldiers sees this and bangs on the guard door, and 5 others soldiers come out and start walking in sort of a formation towards where you guys are.
It's gonna be fun.
All right, do I get the rat up there before this happens?
This is all happening sort of at the same time. So you're just going to gently raise the rat up to the top of the
Yes.
the wall, and just
And if they question me, I was concerned that the rat would get stepped on. I like animals.
So your mage hand goes up with Finny, and you deposit her on top of the wall. It's a there's sort of a solid wood walkway up above. It's about 10 feet wide before the back part of the wall, with multiple soldiers lined up on the wall at their guard posts. And on the other side is another 35-foot drop down to the inner ground surrounding the castle itself, where the king resides. Say that again, Heidi.
Also stairwells.
Yeah, if you go hunting around, you might be able to find something. So while you're making your way towards the central keep where the gate tower is, these soldiers come up and just sort of push. The 2 front lead ones just start pushing at Lee and Gareth to try to clear them out of the area. They're just like, hey, all right, that's enough of that. Come on, let's get going. Move along. Move along. We have no silliness here.
All right, so we're good.
All right.
Stop dancing.
Stop that. That's silly.
All right.
All right, so I sneak down.
Maybe.
You know.
So there's another equally well-made door up at the top that you need to try to find a way through. So go ahead and make another dexterity check.
The top of the walkway?
Has a door leading into the gatehouse. Yes.
I don't want to go in the gatehouse. I just want to go down.
Right. You have to go into the gatehouse to be able to go down.
Okay, you built this world. Sure. Okay. So what do you want me to roll?
Dexterity check because you're trying to find a gap.
Can anyone charm their way in?
Not me.
You are not able to find a gap large enough on this door. If you go down the other direction, I mean, it's going to be it's going to be a pretty good haul, but you could go down to the next tower.
Yeah, I'm not really worried about doors. You said it was a wood construction. I'm just going to climb over.
No, just the the wall is stone and there's a wood walkway on top of it.
Okay.
It's like if I can sketch it with a mouse, it's like you have one side of the wall, and then there's a wood walkway up above, and then the other side of the wall.
Okay.
And then there's
So
like
I just
stuff
down
on
the
the
wall.
inside. So you're currently up here.
Yes, I'm going to jump down and slip and slide down the wall to the inside.
So you're just gonna fall. You're just gonna jump off the other side.
It was
Rats,
kind of
rats
like
are pretty good at clinging to things. I've seen
They
it.
can cling and they can climb straight up and down rock walls.
That's pretty actually reasonable.
There are falling rules in D&D. So let me pull those up real quick.
Yeah, but it's a rat.
It is a rat. You're right.
I mean, I've seen rats do cray shit at the barn. Rufus got one that was as big as him the other night.
He's a
And
stone cold killer.
Ate it. I love
Yeah.
Rufus. Rufus is awesome. He's a lot lighter than he appears.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So Finny, make a dexterity save.
I'm gonna do that here.
Okay. You don't land the most gracefully, so you do take a small amount of bludgeoning damage. You take... Where's my dice tower at? You take 1d4 damage, 3. So you take 3 points of bludgeoning damage when you land. And you are in rat form right now. Is that one already set up? I hope it is. Let's see. Wild shape.
Oh, that's
Rat.
true.
It
It's
is.
my regular one.
It's one I drew already. I drew this one for you. This is the ones I sent this to you actually.
Super cute.
A little Finny rat. I'm going in and adding like blue green magic type stuff to it too. And this is, no one else has seen these yet. This is the Finny snake I made for her.
Nice.
Aww.
And the Finny crab I haven't done yet, but
We'll allow it.
So now I'm inside and I am a slightly damaged rat. And I pursue the
We're all
train,
slightly damaged, Tidy.
right?
so when the soldiers are pushing you away, do you guys succumb and allow them to push you off?
Oh yeah, we were just, well, I mean, in my mind, I won't answer for the others. This was simply a ruse to get Finny in there.
Well, remember to take care of your dwarf since he's seeing through my eyes right now.
Yep.
Remember to
Hey,
sounds
Ron, are you
public
passing
service
this-
announcement. Remember to take care of your dwarf.
Are you passing this along to us?
Sorry, Discord just crapped out on me.
Alright. But you're back?
Yes?
That's good.
I don't think he's back yet.
Apparently I'm
We
not.
should wait.
How do we know it's really
Alright.
you? Tell us something only Jacob would know.
I'm not wearing pants.
That's a lie.
No, I knew that. I knew that already.
I am wearing pants.
He's the only person I know that wears jeans to relax.
What is the most important thing you did tonight in this game?
Ate corn chips.
He's not wrong.
So the wagon is being brought. About half of the soldiers sort of break off once it's within the castle gates, and the wagon itself is brought to the southeast of the castle, back to sort of a warehouse area where this other retinue of people, they're a variety. There's some people in robes, some more soldiery type looking people. They are sort of talking lightly amongst themselves as the crate is unloaded and then brought into a warehouse there in the castle grounds area.
Okay.
I look around slowly so that Thoradin is able to get a really good idea of exactly where I am before I try to sneak into the warehouse.
All right. You still? Is there a range on this connection, or is it a?
Let's see here. Good idea.
It's not a bad question.
It seems like it's infinite range. So yeah, Thornton has a good Wi-Fi signal, so the stream is crystal clear. Remember to smash that like button, Thornton, while you're watching.
Yeah, and so I try to describe to them what I'm seeing and what she's going through.
When I hit the ground.
So actually, here, let me bring in my little marker thing to show where everyone else is. So you guys got sort of pushed down the street a bit. So what are you looking for exactly? The crate is brought into this warehouse. It's a warehouse full of materials, different crates and whatnot, and it's sort of slid into a space. It's actually an iron cage that they place it inside, and then they lock it up. As far as you can tell, they haven't taken anything out of the crate, and then they verify that all is good, and then they leave it there in the warehouse.
Are there many people
Lots.
in that area?
Yeah, there are lots. It's sort of a...
So it's being well guarded, is what you're saying?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you estimate with a city this size, they probably have close to 700 city guard alone. Also the king is responsible for the armies of Delephran, which are up to 35,000 people. So during wartime,
they are taking the guarding of this artifact quite seriously, is what you're saying.
Yeah, I would say that.
Okay.
It's probably a bit out of
stealing it.
It's a bit outside of Finney's direct experience. I don't think you've ever been in a city quite this large, have you?
I mean, I'm a sailor, so I've been to all the cities.
How much time have you spent in the cities, though? Especially in the castle walls of the king of the neighboring kingdom.
Definitely not in the castle. I'm thinking that probably, in order for us to know, since the auction is a secret, in order for us to know when it's going to happen and where it's going to happen, I probably need to stay with it.
I think this is a reasonable assumption.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I agree. I'm not worried about stealing it right now as much as learning who wants it and who's going to have it.
I agree with that.
My goal right now is to find, once it gets settled, I'm just going to kind of hide, and once it gets settled and everything settles down, I'll try to find a way into the crate itself. Hopefully with an air hole, and maybe to be able to see what's happening, so I can just travel with it instead of having to sneak behind it.
All right, so Finney is now out of the campaign. She lives with the crate now. The auction is in 2.5 months, so you guys return to Whitecap on the ship, and Finney is now a resident of Cyranor for the time being. She feeds on...
You remember to register to vote.
Did not see that coming.
You didn't know exactly when the auction was going to be. It could have been later that evening, or it could be months from now.
Yeah. It's going to be awkward when 24 hours passes and she's a dog again.
Yeah. That will be something.
Well, it definitely... You guys hang around until the sun goes down, and there's been no change. Probably getting hungry.
Are you trying to tell us we should give up on this?
All signs are pointing that this is perhaps not the best course of action at the moment. You can certainly follow this course of action if you like, but it's not. It's
going to be fruitful.
Yeah.
All right then.
All right. Do we get Finny back?
I guess I'll sprawn out of there. Go back to my friends.
All right, make me a dexterity check. Unless you want to try to stealth your way just through the gate itself.
That's a saving throw. Hold on.
The next soldier may not be as nice as a kick, though. They might actually just try to just stab you because you are a rat.
Oh no. That's pretty bad.
So that closest tower you're not able to get into. You could try an athletics check to scamper up the wall. Or acrobatics, I'm sorry, not athletics. Oh, but you crit on the athletics, so yeah. Yeah, you just Rocky Balboa your way up the wall all the way to the top, scrambling up. And then you tumble down the other side. Just managing.
That you think it'll be a while.
You land, actually, this time you land in like a bale of hay that's down at the base of the wall.
Nice. That's much nicer.
So it just makes a little sound as you land, and you don't take any more damage.
But I do take a couple of choice nibbles.
And you look over and you see another male rat who's giving you the eye.
And I say, Thoradin, get out of my head for a second.
He likes what he sees. You hear the same music playing that was playing in the Pitchfork Tower between Gareth and Osena.
Lordy, help me.
Let's get it on. Are you guys still waiting in about the same place?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Eventually.
So what you're saying is we should give this up and go back to the ship.
Not necessarily go back to the ship, but following the crate, it doesn't seem like seems like fate is pushing against you as far as trying to follow the crate.
Let's duck into a tavern and have a beverage and see what fate, the DM, guides us towards.
That sounds good to me.
I mean, let's be fair. This is the capital city of a major kingdom, and you're trying to sneak into the castle grounds to follow a crate. It's not the easiest thing. I'm not saying
I
right that, and you snuck in. But honestly, what were you going to do by yourself with the crate?
Get information.
Yeah.
Well, you know, right now you know that the crate is locked away and for the moment safe inside of the castle grounds in Cyranor.
So what you're saying is it worked.
So go drink to your success that we've done, that we have at least captured a good.
The crate is safe till we
take
all
another
level
long
up.
rest so that Heidi gets her wild shape back.
And I gotta pee real quick. Think about what you guys want to do next, and I'm gonna go pee real quick. I only allow one campaign derailment per session. You guys already used yours up.
We didn't say anything.
I know, I'm
except
just
that we're
kidding.
gonna drink our casks of ale.
No, this is something I thought of when I was peeing.
Oh.
I thought it was funny. I'm sorry.
Your face is funny.
Your mom is funny.
She is. I love her.
Oops,
So
that's not what I wanted.
there are many tired puppies playing, honey. Just to let you know.
Okay. Well, we're only going to be playing for another 20 minutes anyway, so we can stop now if you like.
If it's only 20 minutes, I can make it 20 minutes, but that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was aiming for 11.
Okay.
All right, let's just do this.
Yeah.
All right, let's find a bar.
So we find a tavern.
Yeah. And DM, while you were gone, we went ahead and just awarded the 17 gold that we found to Malibu Stacy.
All 17 gold?
Hey, hey,
Jackie
hey.
doesn't have any gold really right now, and we have some, so we're gonna have her hold on to it. I mean, we work as a team anyhow.
Welcome to the team. We'll get our big paybacks when we return to Whitecap for this job.
All right, so you pass. I mean, they're just.
Team's dumbfounded.
No, I'm right with you. A city this size, there's probably a good 400, 500 taverns. The three closest now, the Dawn Arc, which is the part of town that you're in at the moment, waiting for Finny to come back. The Dawn Arc is, you gotta get a sense that this is like the noble district. This is where the money, the big money is. There are some shops, but mostly it's nobility and it's manor homes. So you could hang in this area and try to find a tavern, or if you want something a little bit less upscale, you can head back towards the dock, the district that you pass through to get to the Dawn Arc, the center mark. That seems more like what you're used to in Whitecap.
Because if we're trying to keep an eye on who might be interested in buying this thing and what's really going on, I feel like we need to hit up the higher. Maybe we have Gareth hit a classy bar and we hit a scrummy one, or we all hit
So you want to split the party?
I don't know if that's a good idea either, but I feel like good information can be gained from both going to a classier establishment and hitting the slums.
I'm fine for getting good ale.
Yeah, let's start off with something good. I mean, Lee's rolling the dough. She can buy.
Yeah, she can buy tonight since we slid her all the gold.
Well, the closest one to where you guys are now, it's a place called the Iron Lute. It's a 2-story inn.
L-U-T-E or L-L-O-T?
L-U-T-E.
Okay.
And it's
that sounds very phallic.
It's a 2-story. It's an inn and a tavern. It looks like a decent enough place.
Do we need lodgings, or are we staying on the boat?
It's up to you. You can either buy lodging in the city, or you can sleep on the ship.
I'm most comfortable on the ship, but
I mean, I like my bed there. I'm good with that too.
It's free. Can't beat free.
Yeah, it's a good price. We know it's safe.
Yeah,
that's true too.
So the Iron Lute, it's a fairly large place, big open room, live entertainment when you come in. There's a. Didn't I just make a thing for that? I thought I just made a thing for that.
He's got a thing for that.
I do. I make random tables for everything. I love random tables. I'm like Batman when it comes to D&D. I just have like all the little gadgets and things.
I just watched that Community episode.
Oh, was that an episode of Community?
Where, yeah, the one character's Batman. So please continue, Alex.
And they seem to feature meads prominently. Like they make their own meads. They've imported stuff. So this is like mead central here at the Iron Lute. Everyone seems so impressed. I assume you buy 2 of everything.
I like mead.
Yes.
Do we have like a tavern layout here that we get to look at?
Imagine it's a large open room, sort of on one wall. There are like 2 like sort of center fire pit circles with, you know, chimneys going up through the ceiling, and then a large stage kind of in between them on one side where the minstrels are playing at the moment.
The minstrels.
Multiple tables everywhere. They're sort of round. Why was that funny?
I'm sorry, I'm a bad person and I'm
No, what does it mean? I don't know what it means.
Minstrels instead of the minstrels.
Oh, the minstrels. That's what they call themselves. That's the house band for the Iron Lute, or the minstrels.
Iron? Iron Lute?
The Iron Lute. Yep.
Iron, yep.
It's canon now. I'm putting this in my thing. House band. The
no inspiration
minstrels.
So, I am going to...
Every 30 minutes they get really shitty with the audience.
I am going to play a card.
What? Oh God.
It's called Mistaken Identity.
Oh God. You're gonna sling this 15 minutes before we stop the game?
Yes, because I'm there in life right now. I'm going to draw this card during this session. I am mistaken for another individual, causing me potential problems, but after the problem is resolved, I discard this card and I draw 2 more.
Nice.
Alright.
Yeah, look at his face.
Can you say derail number 2?
Oh, man.
Alright, well, but we're not doing this tonight, though, because this is... I'm going to keep that right here on the board.
No, Alex, no.
You're making my life a lot of fun there. Thanks, guys.
To remind us...
Oh my God, your face.
To remind me next time. You got to understand, I've been used up already this session by what Jacob pulled, so...
At least my card was intended to help the party and move the story.
You're just doing your card out of spite.
Yeah, her card's a
I
spite
wanted
card.
2 new ones, and it seemed like a good time.
Alright, so at some point during your time in the Iron Loot, someone is going to mistake you for someone else, and it's going to cause some problems.
For a murderer.
No, right now, Alex, I played the card now. If you're not going to go with it, I'll take the card back.
You can't take it back. It's already on the board.
Well, then you got to go with it. You're an actor.
I am an actor. You can't throw that at me.
You're the actor, remember?
Yes, and.
Oh my God, I almost spit my wine out. Alex, your face is the most amazing thing.
This is a face of focus. I'm looking for something
guys,
right now.
Just, you know,
Oh no,
the rat
I'm
thing
loving this.
The rat thing didn't work out, so I figured, fuck it, let's burn it all.
And I'm at that point in tiredness where, like, literally anything is funny, so...
Yeah, that might be why it happened. I'm at that point in the bottle, too.
It's a bad combination.
Alex, I love your face. Makes me happy. Faces that you make.
Your mom loves my face.
She probably does, that whore. So we're in the tavern drinking. We're all having mead.
I'm enjoying my mead, probably getting some, like, a nice hearty stew, or what do they have to eat?
Yeah, is there food?
There is food.
Yeah, we're
But you can't distract me from coming up with something. They have wild boar chops.
Do they?
Ooh.
They do.
Chop it.
What are those numbers? Is that price
Is it
or
heavily
something?
salted?
No, I have a table. My previous campaign, whenever the party was out in the wilds, we would roll to see when whoever was cooking, whenever they made food, what they were able to make for the group that night. And so I put together this random table, so it depends on what they rolled for their survival check.
Okay.
So
if they rolled shitty, it was rice and peas.
You know, Alex, I just hope you appreciate the fact that we appreciate these cards that you give us, and we know how much work you put into them. So it would be tragic to not use them after all the effort that you have put in.
Roll for BS.
No, that's actually true.
I know it is.
So at some point during the evening when you guys are sitting, listening to the music, drinking your mead, getting some food, munching on your wild boar chops, this really sweaty guy comes sort of pushing past the crowd, and he's holding this big parcel in his arms, and he stumbles up to your table and he drops it right next to Lux on the bench, and then he takes you by the shoulders and says, "They're looking for this. Make sure you go back to the place." And then he kind of looks around,
Sorry, sir.
and he dashes off through the
Seems
crowd.
like a case of mistaken identity.
And he's gone through the crowd. The bag is moving, like there's something.
I slowly shove it under the table. With
Like
my
there's
mage
something
hand.
alive in it.
Don't care.
It cries like a baby.
I smother it with my mage hand. I use mage hand to smother the bag.
The baby cries diminish and then grows silent.
Okay, that's good. That works out.
Your alignment is now chaotic evil.
Okay.
Because you're a baby murderer. No, but seriously, so this bag is deposited next to you, and the guy just takes off.
I smother it now. Do we open it? Like,
You started this. It's up to you.
I order another round.
Another round.
And I ignore the package. Barkeep, this is not mine. Please dispose of it in yon dumpster.
We have an abandoned package here.
We have a case of young teen prom that is not my issue. I'm small but not young.
You hear literally a baby start crying from inside the bag.
I literally smother it with my mage hand.
No, I would not let that. I'm lawful good. I would not allow that.
I look at everyone and ask if I should smother it.
It makes all 8 of my memories kind of, react. So I kind of snatch the sack over to myself and.
So do we milk Finny and add it to our Irish coffee?
I dare you. I dare you to milk me.
I have nipples. I have nipples, Greg. Could you milk me?
Whatever you're into.
Do you open the parcel?
Please somebody open that damn bag. I open the bag.
So Lee just reaches over, flings the top of the bag open, and inside of the bag is a tiny human baby.
Now I smother it with my mage hand.
I didn't even.
And I just like, well, shit. I didn't order this.
Could I return it to the bar? I was like, I pick it up and I walk up to the bar and I say I'd like to deposit this in the lost and found.
The bartender looks at you and says, "Say what?"
Lost.
You have a baby in a
and
bar?
Found.
You lost your baby and now you're trying to give it away?
This is absolutely not mine. Do you see these tits? Do I look like I've given birth?
No, I can't see your tits.
Not everyone
after birth. Now, come on.
Not everyone is as lucky as you. I've seen my mother's.
Look, I don't know whose baby this is, but you need to take it out.
I don't know either. I just figured this was the best place to take it because I found it on the floor.
Yeah, no, people aren't just tossing around babies
they
in the
are.
Iron Loot.
That's the problem. I am a client here with lots of money to spend, and this refuses crying is bothering me.
When is this money going to be start to
I already
spend?
ordered like 3 rounds, man. I'll take another one if I can leave this baby with you.
And you think that's spending a lot of money? You buying 3 rounds of drinks?
Just getting started. We've been here for 20 minutes.
Right.
Yeah, we're on it. We got dinner coming.
He kind of looks. He looks over towards the door, and there's this big bruiser guy.
Yeah, have him take it. He can smother it. They won't let me.
He's got big boobs.
He kind of stands up and he moves over closer to the bar so he can be a little bit closer to the action.
I mean,
The bartender
if you want us
says,
to leave,
"Look."
I understand, but I'm not taking this with me.
This does not belong to
To
me,
me, yes.
nor
you're
the
correct.
tavern.
It does not belong to me.
You are the last person to touch it.
Well, I
You
found it
are
on the
responsible
floor.
for it.
Was, I am a client here, and my experience is being disrupted.
By your
You
child.
can throw it in the dumpster. I
That's
mean, I'll drop it there for you if you don't want it. but
maybe next time. Don't have a baby if you're not interested in caring
trust
for it.
me, honey, you can inspect this if you want. I have not had a
Next time,
baby.
why don't you try being less of an asshole, barkeep?
Thank you, Lee, for backing me up.
All right, look. What's your name,
Thank you,
Lee?
Lee.
You just brought your baby up to me and told me to take it
It is
away.
not my baby. It
How
is
do
a
you
human
think
baby. Do
I
look
should
like a human
react to
you?
this? The baby
Do
is
we
with
look
your
like
group.
humans?
I don't know who the baby in your group belongs to, but you brought
It's
the
gotta be
baby to
Garrett's
me.
then, because there are no other humans in this group. Garrett,
you-
get your baby.
I'm going to give you to the count of 10.
All right, I'm gonna go sit down. Here's your baby.
No. Take this baby with you.
I use Mage Hand to deposit the baby outside.
The bartender talks to the bouncer type guy again, and he
I
nods.
stuffed the baby in the bag of holding.
And he goes out the door. You overheard something about the city guard being called?
All right, we leave the baby there and we leave.
Hey, you played the card. You got to deal with the consequences.
I just don't know what to do with the baby.
It's a pickle. You're right.
I mean,
You wouldn't let me smother it with the Mage Hand?
No,
That would have taken care of all of this.
you are not chaotic evil. That is not something you would have done.
I'm neutral. It's bothering me.
Yeah.
Would there be an orphanage in this place?
You imagine a city this size would have a lot of orphans.
All right, so I saw
Or-
him take it to
and
an orphanage. I'll
orphanages.
be back, guys.
Did
I
we-
felt the baby.
We will
I felt
deal. We will deal with the baby at the beginning of the next session because now it is pretty much 11.
Is Finny gonna attach it to her memories for now?
I'm nursing her dog. I just had a feeling. It was that feeling of when the baby cries and sounds hungry.
You guys remember that White Lion song when the children cry?
I order a
Yes,
round of
I do.
whiskey.
When the children cry.
Yeah, that was a song.
Can I order a round of whiskey before we leave?
I guess.
They were probably spitting it.
No, we watched them pour it.
No, they're not gonna spit in it, but they'll. Now they're snooty.
Ooh, oh, the snootiness.
Yeah, now they're
Yeah.
snooty about it.
Remember, this was the high-end part of town.
And here we are with our babies, our unwanted
I just want you
babies.
to know that I'm very disappointed that a baby comes with my experience here. And I go sit down.
No one wants whiskey and a baby. Whiskey with a side of baby.
Or do they?
I mean,
Oh my.
y'all are nuts.
I'm trying to think if I have anything I can tie it up with.
Oh my god.
The bartender or the baby?
Big. Anybody have yarn?
The baby.
Oh, jeez.
I
yeah.
have Ray of Sickness that allows me to draw life out of something.
Oh my god! No!
No. No.
Heavens.
But it'll up my hit points.
You are attracting the attention of some really dark things right now.
Yeah.
Little Lux.
I like other things, I just don't like babies. What's wrong with that? Listen, how
There's a
long have you
difference
been on
between
quarantine right now?
there's a
How long
difference
have you been on
between
quarantine?
there's a difference between not liking babies and actively murdering babies. There are two.
Right.
There's a galley.
It's closer to a fetus than an adult. Don't be such a Republican about this.
Oh my gosh. Oh. Oh boy.
I'm giving the side to side look right now. What?
This is where the wine gets us.
It's really just the enjoyment of your lovely face, Alex. Your face is amazing.
I'm really interested to see where this whole baby thing goes.
I
already have thoughts.
in the dumpster.
We'll find like some manger and we'll just plop it in there, and then that'll start Christianity, and oh look, a new religion.
Oh.
So we can leave it in the barn? I'm okay with that.
Technically, you could leave it anywhere, but just expect repercussions from your choices. That's all I'm saying.
I tried to leave it in the lost and found. That seemed fair.
No, I'm lawful good. I would not let harm come to this baby. I will.
Oh, Thornton.
Find an orphanage if I have to.
He will swaddle it with his own beard if he must.
I will use. Yes, I will let it puke in my beard.
I give Thornton the baby.
Can be your side quest, just working through the bureaucracy.
Thoradin starts suckling the baby.
On his man seat.
Mr. Mom, Dwarf Edition.
Yeah, for sure.
Hey, dwarves make some super sweet, potent milk, let me tell you. I speak from experience. It's nice.
You will not taste my horse's milk now. Come on.
It's like spiced. I don't know how they make it. I don't know how they make it spiced, but it's like it is like a creamer. It's like it's like cinnamon in it and clove, and it's lovely. Yeah, just
see that.
Dwarf milk straight from the teat. It's delicious.
Heidi's mare milk, on the other hand, is right out for me.
Did you also try it?
No, absolutely not.
No.
There is a reason that like food animals aren't given the shit that we put on our horses. I am not drinking that.
A bunch of shit on
it
her.
is the furthest thing from organic that you can possibly get.
That sadly, it's not true. She gets a lot less than the meat animals that you eat.
Is bathed in chemicals
All
regularly.
right, Malibu's up. I think she's tapping out.
Good night, Jackie. Thank you for joining us.
I love you.
You're awesome.
Night, Jackie.
Good night, everybody.
End the session.
Bye.
All good games end with a baby murder.
Be nice to children.
Alex is like, what's the worst thing I could do to Mel? The worst thing I could do to Mel is give her a small child.
Is make her a mommy.
Yeah, that's not happening.